The 405 track shutdown has crippled traffic, causing delays and confusion, which has left drivers frustrated for months. But what is more interesting is the exact reason behind this action. Join us as we unveil what caused this massive disruption and why it was necessary. The Interstate 405 Highway. The Interstate 405, often just called the 405 Freeway, is a major highway in Southern California. It runs north-south through Los Angeles and Orange counties. The road is very busy because it connects many important places. People use it to travel for work, for shopping, for school, and to go to the airport or hospitals. The road plays a huge role in daily commuting. Every morning and evening, thousands of drivers use it to go between their homes and jobs. Because it links many different neighborhoods and business districts, the freeway helps people move across the region. Many commuters depend on it to reach employment centers, universities, medical facilities, and shopping areas. The freeway also supports regional travel, not just local trips. It acts as a bypass for Interstate 5, giving a way around some of the busiest parts of that freeway. The route runs close to airports, big business zones, and tourist destinations. It's a major route for both people and goods to move in and out of central Los Angeles. Because the freeway is so full, there have been many improvement projects. One large project by Caltrans, California's transport agency, is called the Multi-Asset Project. That plan is to extend the life of the pavement, make the road safer, and improve traffic flow. It also includes smarter traffic systems, better bridges, and upgraded safety devices. There are special lanes on the freeway too. There are HOV lanes, high occupancy vehicle, where cars with 2 or more people can drive. In some places, there are express lanes, also called hot lanes, where drivers pay a toll to use less congested lanes. These express lanes opened more recently, offering a faster option for some drivers. The 405 freeway is very wide in many places. In some sections, it has 8 to 10 regular lanes plus HOV lanes to help handle the heavy traffic. There are also auxiliary lanes in parts, which help cars enter and exit safely without disrupting the main flow. One of the most famous parts is where it crosses the Sepulveda Pass, a low mountain pass in the Santa Monica Mountains. Building the freeway through this pass was hard work. Engineers had to carve a deep gorge through the mountains, moving a huge amount of rock and dirt. Historically, the Interstate 405 replaced an older road called Sepulveda Boulevard, once State Route 7. That road had hairpin curves and danger in the 1950s. In the early 1960s, construction began on the modern freeway. The work included building an 8-lane concrete road through the pass. The 405 freeway was officially approved as part of the interstate system in 1955. Then, construction began in 1957, starting north of LAX. A key stretch through Sepulveda Pass opened on December 21, 1962, at a cost of about $20 million. At that time, workers built large retaining walls and reshaped the land to make the freeway safe. In 1964, the route was officially named under a statewide renumbering plan. Over time, more construction happened. In 2011 to 2014, there was a major improvement project on the Sepulveda Pass. During that time, part of the freeway was closed for a weekend, an event nicknamed Carmageddon by local media. In December 2023, new express toll lanes opened in Orange County. The road is also under constant maintenance. Caltrans is doing a pavement rehabilitation project in parts of the freeway. This includes replacing worn-out road surfaces, improving safety rails, and upgrading signs. The project also plans to add more modern traffic management systems like real-time monitoring and smart signals. Economically, the route supports growth in Los Angeles and Orange County. It helps freight move, workers commute, and companies do business. By connecting different parts of the region, the freeway plays a role in how the area grows and develops. The road is key for both local and regional economies. The history of the 405 freeway reminds us of how transportation and land change over time. Over decades, the freeway has been improved many times to keep up with growing demand. Today, it is a symbol of Southern California life. It carries heavy commuter traffic, and it connects many important places. It is not just a road. It is part of how the region lives. With ongoing upgrades, it will continue to be a vital artery for years to come. The shutdown. The Interstate 405, a very important freeway between Renton and Bellevue in Washington State, has been shut down at key times for big construction work. The Washington State Department of Transportation has organized weekend closures to let its crews dig, pave, and rearrange traffic in order to build a better highway. From November 7 to 10, 2025, the southbound side of the highway was fully closed in the Bellevue-Sauvage, Renton area. The work included excavating drainage crossings, replacing old pavement, and making a traffic switch to move lanes to a new layout. During this time, cars could not travel in that section, and a clearly marked detour was used to guide drivers around the closed freeway. At the same time, on State Route 522 in Bothell, crews installed brand new traffic signals at 2 junctions. These signals are part of a larger improvement project called the Interstate 405 Improvement Project. The aim is to better control how traffic flows where the 405 freeway meets state. Route 522, especially once the road has been widened. Earlier, from October 31 to November 3, 2025, another closure took place on the highway. That time, the stretch from North Southport Drive, Sunset Boulevard, to State Route 167 was shut down. Meanwhile, on the northbound side in Kirkland, crews reduced lanes overnight to do foundational work. They also closed some ramps, such as the on-ramp from Northeast 128th Street and the off-ramp at Exit 22. These weekend closures let the Washington State Department of Transportation move faster. With all traffic off the road, crews dug drainage systems, built or strengthened retaining walls, and poured concrete. The traffic switch means that once the work is done, the traffic lanes will operate in a new way. That gives room for more construction in other parts of the freeway. The goal is to ease congestion by adding new capacity. WSDOT plans to build one new general-purpose lane in each direction and then merge the new lane with the existing high-occupancy vehicle lane to create dual express toll lanes. If everything works as hoped, these toll lanes will connect to other express toll lanes already on Interstate 405 and State Route 167, forming a continuous system over many miles. Part of the project also focuses on better public transport. The Washington State Department of Transportation and Sound Transit want to support a future bus rapid transit line between Linwood and Tukwila. To do that, they are building direct access ramps at Northeast 44th Street in Renton so buses can enter or exit the toll lanes without mixing with regular cars. The work is not just about cars. It is also focused on improving bridges, interchanges, and bike or pedestrian connections. For example, in Bellevue, they are rebuilding the Main Street Bridge with a wide multi-use path, safe railings, and room for walking or bicycling. There is also a plan for a new trail crossing over the 405 freeway, part of the regional East Rail project. Because the construction is so big, the agency tries to do the hardest parts during nights or weekends. That way, they reduce the risk to drivers and also let workers complete important tasks without too much disturbance. But planning ahead is very important for people using the road. Detour routes are set up, but those alternate roads are not made for all the traffic that would normally use the freeway. Drivers are strongly advised to check travel maps, use their app, or sign up for alerts so they know ahead of time. Safety is also a big concern. In their news release, the Washington State Department of Transportation reminds drivers to slow down, pay attention, and watch for signs in the work zones. According to them, a very high percentage of work zone accidents do not involve only workers, but other drivers and passengers. 2. So, it's in everyone's interest to be careful. Underneath all this work, there are environmental goals too. Part of the widening project involves fixing fish passage barriers. By improving streams that were blocked, the construction will help local fish move more freely. They are also building stormwater management systems, noise walls, and other infrastructure to reduce the impact of a bigger road on the surrounding communities. All these changes are expensive and complex, but the payoff could be big. Once the upgrade is complete, Interstate 405 will not just be wider, but smarter. The express toll lanes are meant to help people who are willing to pay for faster or more reliable trips, or who ride buses. The local traffic will still use general lanes, but the whole system should move more smoothly. Drivers will feel the pain for now, but all of that is meant to help build a freeway that can handle more traffic, more transit, and more people safely in the future. The shutdowns are part of a big bet that by investing now, the region can avoid worse traffic later. When this highway heals, it will be stronger, safer, and more useful. The transformation may feel messy today, but it is laying the foundation for a smoother ride tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Interstate 405 was previously shut down, but for an entirely different reason. The political use of public infrastructure. On Tuesday, August 13, 2024, a group of protesters walked onto the southbound side of the Interstate 405 freeway in West Los Angeles. The protest started near the Venice Boulevard area when rush hour traffic was building. The protesters blocked the lanes, bringing several southbound lanes to a complete stop. Traffic immediately backed up, affecting hundreds of cars and trucks during a busy period. The group was organized in part by If Not Now Los Angeles, a progressive Jewish activist organization. Reporters estimated that about 40 to 50 people participated in the freeway action. Their demands focused on United States foreign policy. They called for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, an immediate arms embargo on Israel, and for American elected officials to reject influence from the pro-Israel lobbying group AIPAC. Protesters brought signs and banners displaying their messages clearly to passing drivers. California Highway Patrol officers responded quickly. The protesters moved from the roadway as officers arrived, with some walking along the freeway shoulder while being escorted. According to the patrol, no serious physical injuries were reported among the protesters or other motorists. There was a formal police response. 9 people were arrested. The charges included unlawful assembly and failure to disperse. The officers documented the scene and managed traffic flow during the protest. Traffic disruption lasted for a relatively short time. By about 9:30 in the morning, all lanes except one had been reopened to slow-moving traffic. By 9:45, the freeway was essentially cleared and open again. Some media reported that the most severe delays lasted around 15 to 20 minutes, though other estimates placed the total disruption closer to 40 or 50 minutes. Drivers honked their horns, and some vehicles were forced to exit the freeway early. In its statement, the patrol team strongly condemned the protest. According to them, entering a state freeway to stage a protest is unlawful and extremely dangerous. They warned that such actions risk the safety of protesters, motorists, and first responders alike. In a busy corridor like the Interstate 405, blocking traffic disrupts thousands of daily commuters who rely on the road for work, medical visits, and other critical engagements. The agency stated that it would press charges against those arrested. The protest coincided with Tisha B'Av, a Jewish day of mourning. According to If Not Now, they chose the date deliberately. In their messaging, the group emphasized mourning for civilian suffering in Gaza, linking their action to both historical Jewish suffering and modern Palestinian losses, Organizers explicitly called on the vice president and other leaders to reject AIPAC's influence and to support a permanent ceasefire. The protest involved coordinated planning for safety and visibility. Media coverage framed the event as a small but symbolically powerful protest. Journalists captured images and video of the blockade, which spread widely online. If Not Now issued an apology to disrupted commuters in their public messaging. They acknowledged that blocking the freeway inconvenienced many working-class people. At the same time, they insisted that the pain of using tax money to fund military aid to Israel was a deeper concern, which they claimed justified the disruption. The group described their actions as civil disobedience to raise awareness of global humanitarian issues. Meanwhile, the incident reignited public debate. Some critics said that protests on public highways endanger people and interfere with everyday life. Others argued that the protest was a legitimate political act, stressing that United States involvement in Gaza was morally troubling. For law enforcement, the main issue was safety and legality. The California Highway Patrol, however, reiterated that interstate highways are not an appropriate place for demonstrations. The shutdown highlighted how activists can use major infrastructure to gain visibility. The 405 freeway is one of the busiest roads in Los Angeles, carrying large volumes of traffic every day. By choosing that location, protesters ensured that their message would be seen by many and generate media coverage. The action also raised questions about the balance between civil disobedience and public order. The protest on the southbound 405 freeway was a brief but deliberate political action. About 50 people blocked freeway traffic demanding a ceasefire in Gaza and an arms embargo on Israel. Fortunately, the patrol team intervened, made 9 arrests, and reopened the freeway. The event drew both condemnation for its risk to safety and attention for its political message. Call to action, the shutdown of the 405 freeway, sparked a wave of reaction across Los Angeles and beyond. Many leaders, legal analysts, and transportation experts examined the implications of a protest that intentionally targeted major infrastructure. The event raised urgent questions about how civil disobedience should operate when it intersects with public systems that people rely on daily. The debate quickly moved beyond the protest itself to questions of risk, rights, and responsibility. Law enforcement publicly condemned the freeway action. The California Highway Patrol released a statement labeling the protest as unlawful and extremely dangerous, warning that blocking a state freeway puts protesters, motorists, and first responders at serious risk. They emphasized that loss of life or injury was a real possibility when people enter high-speed traffic lanes. They also noted that they would coordinate with the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office to press charges against those arrested. Safety analysts pointed out that the protest exposed a vulnerability in how infrastructure is used in political expression. The 405 freeway is a major artery in Los Angeles, heavily traveled by commuters every day. By choosing to occupy that space, the protesters turned a transportation corridor into a platform for making a moral and political statement. Several commentators noted that this tactic of infrastructure disruption was not merely symbolic but strategic. It ensured maximum visibility and forced public institutions to respond. 9 protesters were taken into custody on charges of unlawful assembly and failure to disperse. Some legal analysts argued that prosecuting these protesters was necessary to deter future freeway blockades, which carry considerable danger. Others cautioned that aggressive legal action could deter legitimate protest by chilling First Amendment rights. This tension between upholding the law and allowing civil disobedience became a central issue in the debate. Civil society and advocacy groups had divided responses. Supporters defended the protest as a courageous act of moral witness. These voices said the demonstrators forced attention on United States military spending and human suffering in Gaza, connecting local activism to a global issue. Critics, however, called the method reckless. They warned that protests on fast-moving freeways risk public safety and could lead to serious accidents. For many critics, the disruption to ordinary commuters raised the question of whether the political urgency justified such risks. The protesters themselves framed their action with symbolic depth. The protest fell on Tisha B'Av, Tisha, Jewish Day of Mourning, linking historical Jewish suffering to current Palestinian losses. The group behind the action, If Not Now Los Angeles, said its demands included a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, a United States arms embargo on Israel, and political leaders rejecting influence from AIPAC. By invoking this religious day, the movement tied its message to a longer history of loss and resistance. Some political observers saw the timing of the protest as strategic. The action occurred shortly before the Democratic National Convention, and organizers directly addressed Democratic leaders and called for policy changes. By targeting AIPAC and linking it to global conflict, the protesters aimed to pressure elected officials at a moment of heightened visibility and political congregation. The protest was framed both as a moral act and as tactical political engagement. In the city government and transportation planning spaces, officials began discussing the long-term implications of such protests. Some proposed new legal penalties for blocking highways, while others suggested designated protest zones as a way to balance freedom of assembly with public safety. The freeway action ignited broader conversation about how to regulate demonstrations that involve critical infrastructure. The question emerged whether the city should adapt policy to reflect new modes of activism without fully criminalizing protest. Public safety experts issued warnings about possible copycat tactics. By occupying a freeway, the protesters demonstrated that infrastructure can serve double duty as a political stage. Analysts forecast that future movements could adopt similar strategies on freeways, bridges, or other high-value public systems. Those experts emphasized the need for planning, both on the part of protest organizers and on the part of authorities, to manage the risk. The community response was mixed and intense. Many commuters expressed frustration with being caught in a major traffic disruption that morning. For some, the demonstration's message was valid, but the choice to block the highway felt unacceptable. Others defended the action, arguing that powerful political statements sometimes demand disruption. Civic debate widened. People began to ask when protest became too risky and whether public infrastructure is a legitimate place for political dissent. The freeway shutdown remained more than a single protest. It became a flashpoint in a broader conversation about activism, risk, and the use of public space. By directly engaging with infrastructure, the protesters forced public officials, citizens, and political leaders to confront hard questions. What is the proper role of disruption in modern protest? How should cities respond when infrastructure is used for political ends? The incident showed that protest in the 21st century can challenge not just power, but the very systems people move through every day.